Hi, my name's Michaela, and I'm going to be doing my college success and cultural capital right now. One of the first questions asks, what are the most important values or beliefs influencing your life? And honestly, my entire drive is to be a nurse. So right now I'm going to school. My plans include going to more school to further my education and get a bachelor's degree to become a nurse. That's what's really driving me right now. I'm going to work so I can afford to go to school and live by myself, so I can go to school so I can get my degree. So really my ultimate career goal is what is influencing my life decisions at this point. So my second question, what kind of support have you received from your parents or family regarding school and your education? So my parents have never been like, you need to go to college, you need to do this, you need to do that. However, they really have been supportive with me and my choices in school, and I think since they know that I'm so motivated, they encourage me. So if I were to just one day decide that I didn't want to go to school anymore, they would be like, okay, that's fine, but you need to get a job, which I do have a job. So they would just kind of tell me, like, it's whatever you wanted. Like, they would kind of recommend school, but they themselves didn't go to school and they turned out just fine, so they wouldn't like push it on me, you know? Okay, so how many generations has your family lived in the United States? I would say about three generations have lived here. I think my maternal grandmother's mom came to the United States from Mexico, but I think that's about as far as we go. We've been here for quite a while. What do you consider your primary language? Did you have any difficulty learning? So English is my primary language. My mom and dad both speak English, so it was kind of just the first thing that was taught to me. Did your family have more than 50 books in the house when you were growing up? What type of reading materials were in your house when you were growing up? So I don't know if we had more than 50 books, but I did have children's books read to me and that I read. And then in school, I read the small little chapter books like Junie B. Jones, or there were like these fairy chapter books that I read. And then later on, I would read things like Hunger Games or like Divergent, things like that. So we were pretty good with all that reading. Did your family ever go to art galleries, museums, or plays when you were a child? What type of activities did your family? So no, we didn't do any galleries, museums, plays, anything artsy like that. I would say whenever we did have time, we would just kind of spend it like maybe outside. We would go to the beach. We definitely traveled a lot, so I think that's kind of what we did, but we didn't do anything like that. How would you describe the neighborhood where you grew up? I would describe, so I live in Stonecrest. It's in the north side of Hanford. There was kind of a stigma around people who live in Stonecrest. You go to Pioneer, you guys are like the rich kids, you know, and I wouldn't say that we were rich by any means. I think we did live comfortably, and we do live, I think it's older, and it's about like, it's 20 years. We moved here in about 2000, 2003, 2001, something like that. So it's older now, but it was really nice. It still is really nice. So that's that. How would you, okay, what illegal activities, if any, were present in the neighborhood where you grew up? Honestly, I'm not really sure. I don't think we had very many break-ins. We didn't have any shootings or homicides or anything like that. We lived in a fairly decent neighborhood. What employment opportunities were available to your parents or family in the neighborhood where you grew up? So our neighborhood isn't very limited. My dad was a correctional officer and my mom didn't have to be employed. But a lot of the people in my neighborhood, their parents, at least one of them, are actually, they work at the correctional facility. But my neighborhood isn't limited at all. You can work wherever you want to work in Hanford or Fresno, Visalia, anything like that. Do you have immediate family members who are doctors, lawyers, or other professionals? What types of jobs have your family members had throughout their lives? Okay, so I know, well, doctors found, no. I think I have some relatives who live like on the East Coast, and one of them was a judge. I think one of them works for NIH as well. Nothing like no doctors, definitely. My mom and dad, they worked at like Mervyn's, they worked at fast food, they worked at small jobs coming up. My dad worked at Save Mart, and then my dad finally became a correctional officer at the prison, but that was his extent. And then my mom, she didn't have to work, so that was that. Why did you decide to go to college? What is influencing you to continue or complete? Okay, so I have always known that I was going to go to college. Despite whatever I thought I was going to be, I just knew like college was something you did and that I was going to do. I've definitely changed. At first I wanted to go to the university, and then I went to community college, and now I want to transfer. But I always knew that I wanted to be a nurse, which meant that I had to go to school. So that's my influence. Did anyone ever discourage or prevent you? No. Did you consider school easy or difficult for you? So definitely K through 12, I didn't find school very difficult. I did very well. If I didn't do well, it was because I didn't do my schoolwork. But I didn't really have a hard time understanding anything. College is the same way. Again, I have trouble finishing my schoolwork. It is a little bit more difficult to comprehend and to understand and retain all the knowledge, but nonetheless, it's not super difficult for me. What has been the biggest obstacle for you in obtaining a college education? Honestly, I think maybe me. I'm my only obstacle because I don't put in as much work as I should, and I think that's caused me fallbacks, but still, I don't have any like big life circumstances or anything that's limiting me going to school. No financial. I got a scholarship for West Hills actually, so we didn't even have to worry about that. And then my next school that I plan on going to, we're gonna figure something out, but that's that. Okay, so what has been the greatest opportunity for you in obtaining a college education? So my biggest opportunity, I think, will just be where I turn out in the future. College has definitely opened up doors, I guess. I actually enjoy going to school and learning the things that I like learning about, but I know in the future it's going to provide me the career that I want, so that's why I keep going. How did you learn to navigate educational environments? Who taught you the ins and outs of college or school? So I'm an only child. No one's really provided me any direction in school. It's kind of just something that, my parents were really like, do your homework, go to school, get good grades. They weren't like super pressured, but they knew what I was capable of, and they pushed me to reach my potential. So that's where I got that drive. And then now that I'm in college, it's just something that's been ingrained in my mind that I just know how to do. Okay, so those are all 16 questions. That is kind of sums up my college success in cultural capital. Thanks for listening.